Evening, guys. Right, the reason I'm doing this video, not a Facebook Live one, is because the Facebook Live ones tend to drag on. And they're great if you're there watching it live, but the ones they want to just want a brief catch up on the recent developments, they're a bit long-winded. So I will be doing the Facebook Live ones, but not as frequently. I'm going to stick more to these at least every couple of weeks. I'm going to do a quick video on the most recent development updates. So I'm going to try and keep this to about 12 to 13 minutes. I'd love to hear your feedback on the development at the end of the video, so just feel free to pop your comments in. Okay, so I'm going to start with the T-card system. This is something that has been reintroduced within the last week. So it was developed a long time ago, but it was developed to replace the schedule, not work alongside it. And we never really found a use for the T-card system since then. I mean, every user since has opted to use a schedule, not the T-card system, just because it can handle far more complex situations. So it wasn't until the last couple of installs where the customers were inundated with collections and deliveries and washes. And we realized that the T-card system with some tweaking could handle this situation pretty well. So this is what we've done. It's far more simplified now. It doesn't include any technician information. Technicians are still handled from the schedule. So the schedule is designed to show you the status of the technician previously and for the rest of the day. The T-card system is to show you the current status of that particular vehicle. You can use this however you like to use it. This is how we've got it set up as default now, and we'll be setting it up for companies going forwards. So we've got today's vehicles, requires collection, collected, wash, vehicle washed, requires test drive and test driven, and then ready for delivery back and delivered back. So the way the T-card system works is you've probably noticed on job sheets this option. And the way it works is you simply select the status from the job sheet, so requires collection, for example, and that will actually move the job sheet to requires collection. Likewise, you can actually move it from the T-card system, and that will actually update the job sheet as well. So the T-card system can either be used itself to update the statuses, or the statuses can be updated within the job card. The reason we found this so useful at the last particular install was because the people doing the car washing and the collections and deliveries could now manage themselves. All the office staff had to make sure that they did was make sure this was updated. And if this was updated, then the T card was updated. And then the guys doing this would simply move it from requires washed to vehicle washed. And then the front of house would know that this vehicle's now been washed. So all of what I've just done has no effect actually on the schedule itself, other than you can see the status of the T card system actually directly on the schedule as well. So we can see that this vehicle's now been washed. And likewise, if I set it to requires test drive, it's updated this for requires test drive, and in turn, it's updated the T card system as well. So if you want to have a play with your T card system, simply switch to actions, go to configuration mode, create containers. All you need to make sure that you do is the type needs to be order, and the subtype needs to be, it actually needs to be standard, not initial. So subtype, standard, type, order. Each morning, the vehicles with a status will remain where they are, and today's vehicles will be repopulated with the day's bookings. One of the things that we also added was the ability to see if the vehicle was on site and the key number as well from the T-card system. So that's the T-card system. Let us know if you find any uses for it. I'd be really interested to hear you guys put this to use. I see it as like a visualized extended status. Now I know a lot of you guys are using this, but I think the T-card system is a step up from that. But you can use them both in conjunction with each other as well. Works really good. So you can get as complex as you want to. Can handle most situations now. Okay, so the next thing to tell you all about, customer notifications. We have now text message and email notifications for MOTs, services, and booking reminders as well. So just let us know. It's still, we admit, still a bit complicated for users to set up, but give us a shout with your exact requirements and we'll get that set up for you. So the booking reminder, it took a little longer than we expected, and that is because this was really complicated to achieve. So you see now in the fact box on all your job sheets, you'll have this booking date and time. Sounds really simple until you actually try and design it alongside the schedule. So what we needed to be able to do was move an allocation and update the booking time. but only if the job was pending, i.e. if a technician clocked onto the job and dragged the allocation forwards because it's dynamic, it doesn't affect the booking time. Likewise, if you make additional allocations, it also doesn't affect the booking time, but if you deallocate, then it does. So lots of scenarios we had to work through to be able to achieve this, but once we got this down, creating the email reminder for the booking date was quite simple. So if you want to, you stipulate the time before the booking, and we can make the system send a text message or an email to that customer. Okay, so a feature that I speak about quite a lot, and I know it's not used to its full extent, but now there's a reason, even more of a reason to use it. The technician confirmed button. So this is the technician's view from a tablet. This button here not only allows your advisors to see what's been done, but now when the technician clicks these buttons, and for the parts as well, if we look back at that job sheet, you'll see the labor's been assigned. So now the technician can claim the labor using technician confirmed. Really cool feature. Saves you a lot of time when you're coming to book the job out and you no longer need to use this, providing the technicians have done their job. And likewise on the right hand side, you see here, as a service advisor, I can see that all of these labor lines have been completed and all the parts have been fitted as well. Really useful if you've got multiple parts because the technician cannot tick the part which should be going back. So a bit of a bug fix. This pop-up that you see on the schedule, I don't know if you've noticed, but now it works permanently. We had an issue before where is when you went into a job sheet, occasionally, once you open the job sheet and went back to the schedule, the pop-up no longer work. Well, now it works permanently. We've managed to fix the issue, which we're really pleased about. So something simple, but it's going to have quite a big impact, especially on the busier schedules. To help with the most common posting error, we've actually introduced a new warning message, and I'll just show it you. So if we populate a purchase order and select a part, forget to put the quantity in, put the invoice number in, and attempt to post, you see we get this warning, document contains item lines with zero value. So this is by far the most common posting error that you're all suffering. It's not even a completely zero document. It tends to be when it isn't a zero document, but just one of the lines is zero. So now you'll all be getting this error, hopefully to just reduce some admin work for you, just reduce the most common error that we've seen. Another quick little thing that we've added, you now have the ability from an inspection to open the VHC. Sounds really simple, but believe it or not, we didn't have it previously. Now, when you confirm a VHC, you can just access, confirm a vehicle inspection, sorry, you can just access the VHC directly from the inspection. So another feature which you've probably already seen is the ability to timestamp and user ID stamp comments. So depending on who writes the comment, you'll get a date, time, and advisor. And you can actually also categorize the comments as well. So if there's something really important that you want everybody to see, you can do. So if we go back, if I just close this job sheet and I'll go back in as a technician to the job sheet, you'll see that if I write a test comment as a technician and reopen the job sheet as an advisor, I can see that this technician wrote this comment at this time. Really, really good feature. Hope you all enjoy that one. To get it working, all you do is choose columns on your comments and just tick these 4 boxes. Okay, so schedule search. I know probably most of you have picked up on this, but we now have the ability to search the schedule. So you can search by registration, search by make and model, search by customer, search by key number. And the other cool feature as well is that if you skip through the days or even switch to the week view, the filter still works. So you can do it weekly, monthly, and actually filter through the days as well. So another feature that we've very recently added for the technicians is the ability to view the MOT history. So their device has gone through quite a few changes recently. Some very nice features, and so we decided to add the MOT history as well. So the technicians can now actually, as well as view the service history, they can also view the MOT history. This is taken from the DVSA, so it does require the VRM to be up to date, but the vehicle history, as you know, is taken basically from previous documents. Another straightforward one which people have requested, we've now got update VRM lookup in the estimates, and we have it in the VHCs as well. This is primarily for Autodata as well, so when you're using Autodata, you will require a VRM update from our data supply because we need something called a MIVRIS code, which Autodata requires. So again, very useful when we've rolled Autodata out to all the users. So I just need to check a setting, just bear with me just 1 second. What we also added last week was the ability to see if a vehicle's MOT is due soon or you don't have the information. So you'll notice now, this went live for a lot of you today. If the vehicle's MOT is coming up for expiry, you'll get this pop up at the top. And if you click show vehicle card, it's going to take you to the information. Nice little feature. What we plan on doing, this is the first time I've actually used this. This is actually a core part of the Microsoft Dynamics code that we've not actually utilized. We plan on using this for quite a few other bit parts of the system. So just let us know your feedback. And then finally, we introduced a new method of purchasing today. So I know a lot of you use the purchase order menu on the right hand side here, or the confirmation worksheet up here, where you would previously select the supplier and create a purchase order. Well, we've finally got around to creating a method where you don't require purchase orders, so you can work solely off registrations and key numbers. So when you ring the supplier up, you give them the registration, you give them the key number, you simply write a comment, for example, oil filter ordered from Euro, so you know it's been ordered, and the technicians can also see it's been ordered. And then let's say half an hour later, that's optimistic, the invoice turns up with the oil filter. Well, you go straight to purchase orders. You do not do it via the job sheet. You go from purchase orders, select the supplier, add the item as you normally would using the correct part numbers, put the price in, and then you'll notice we have now this field is editable. So you select the job sheet. So let's say we'll select the BMW. And at the top of the screen here, you've got add item lines to job sheet. Do you want to add them to job sheet number 26? Yes, we do. Now we can see that this line has now been added to this job sheet. In turn, you would put the vendor invoice number in and post the document. And if we take a look at the job sheet, you'll see that the oil filter has now been added to the job sheet. And if we look at the worksheet, we can see that this part has come from this purchase order. So you're doing it in reverse, but you no longer require giving vendors purchase orders. It's something Lindley's won't be using because I'd much prefer the control of purchase orders. Primarily to be multi-location, we have to be much tighter and much stricter. I know a lot of users switch to purchase orders out of necessity. The choice is now yours of whichever method that you want to use. If you opt to use the non-purchase order method and add all the parts afterwards, you can actually remove 3 of the columns. So you actually gain quite a bit more room on the job sheet as well. Alternatively, for those that didn't know, you don't have to use the columns on the lines here. You can use this confirmation worksheet to raise purchase orders as normal. I don't think that's what Reese is doing. I'm not sure if any of others are using that. So that's it. 14 minutes, not too bad. I look forward to hearing your comments. Cheers, guys.